Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to start a new chapter, Transport of Material in Flowering Plants. Before this chapter, we have done transport system in animals. So now we are going to study the transport system in plants. The body of plant is much simpler than the animals, but still they have a proper transport system, so we'll do study about them. So first of all, we'll do study here the transport system in flowering plants. Flowering plants are the most developed form of the plants. When we discuss different types of complexity in case of plant kingdom, so we come to know that there are also some plants which don't have proper root, stem, leaf system, but flowering plants, they have proper root, stem, leaf, flowers, fruit. These all structures are present in flowering plants, so they are the most developed form of the plant kingdom. Okay, so here first of all I'll tell you that we can classify plants as a herbaceous or woody plant. Herbaceous plant mean plants which are just like herb. For example, you have seen coriander, mint, and in the same way woody plants which are having hard stems, so they are the woody plants. Okay, so first of all we classify them in herbaceous and woody. Then we can also classify on the basis of their life cycle. For example, their life cycle can be divided into three forms or three types of categories. For example, annual plants are those whose their lifespan consisting of just 1 year, so they are called annual plants. Then biennial plants, bi mean two, so biennial plants are the plants whose lifespan is consisting of 2 years. And if the plants, they are having their lifespan more than 2 years, maybe up to 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, 1000 years, so all those are called perennial plants. Okay, so now we have classified the plants according to their thickness and according to their life cycle. Okay, now we are going to discuss here the transport system. As I have told you that flowering plants are the most developed form of the plants, so here we are going to study their transport system. Okay, their transport system is consisting of their vascular bundle or vascular tissues. They are also called supporting tissues. These vascular tissues are xylem and phloem. As in the first chapter, you have already studied about xylem tissue, or what is the function of xylem. First of all, you already know that xylem has the two main function. One is the conduction of water, minerals from root to leaf, and second function is that xylem provide mechanical support to the plant. Okay, so as in case of animal body, skeleton is providing the mechanical support, but in case of plant body, vascular tissue, which is consisting of xylem and phloem, is providing mechanical support or strength to the plant body. Okay, and very important things which you already know here, even you can see in the diagram that the xylem is consisting of vessels, and in the first chapter I told you about the structure of these vessels, that for example, this is one vessel. Okay, this one is for example the second vessel. So what happened? So the cross wall mean the ending wall between one vessel and the second, so it is absent in case of these xylems. Okay, so in this way, as this cross wall, this is cross wall, so cross wall is absent, so you can say the adaptation of the xylem is that number one, these cross walls are absent, so due to which it is in the form of a long cylindrical tube from root to leaf. From root to leaf, it is in the form of long cylindrical tube from root to leaf. So due to the absence of this cross walls. Okay, so in the xylem vessel, number one, cross walls are absent. Okay, secondly, the lumen or the cavity of the xylem vessel is you can say it is having a large, or you can say a wide lumen. Why wide lumen? Because xylem tissues are dead tissues. Cytoplasm, or you can say the protoplasm, nucleus, or all the material organelles all are absent, due to which these tubes are hollow from inside. Okay, and number three, these tubes, they have deposition of lignin. Lignin is a carbohydrate in nature. It is a material which provide extra thickening. So this lignin can be in different form. Sometimes this lignin can be in spiral form. Sometimes this lignin can be in the form of rings. Sometime the whole area is just few hollow areas are present in the form of which are called pits, and remaining all area is covered by this lignin. So here you can see, so they have shown you the whole area is covered, so you can see the hollow lumen is present inside, and these pits are basically for the exchange of water. For example, one xylem vessel is present, the second xylem vessel is present, so a pit is present here, so from one vessel water can move to the other vessel. So for that reason these pits are present. So these are the adaptations and the structure of xylem vessel, due to which xylem transport water and minerals to the plant from root to stem. Okay, so here they have also given you the adaptation which I have told you, that continuous lumen from root to leaf, and secondly their wall are lignified. So by this xylem is transporting water and minerals, and secondly providing structural support. Okay, now the second supporting tissue or transporting tissue, you can say both, is phloem. Phloem is basically for the transport of phloem. Phloem is to transport of food which is prepared in the leaf. Okay, so phloem transport food in the form of sucrose plus amino acids. Okay, now remember one thing, in the xylem vessel the flow of water is unidirectional. Remember one thing, uni mean one, directional mean in one direction. It is and what is this direction? This direction is always from root to leaf. Okay, so the flow of material in the xylem vessel is always unidirectional, but in the phloem the material can transport in both directional, or you can say bidirectional. So what can first of all I will tell you the structure, then I'll explain you this thing. Okay, so what's about the structure? First of all, phloem consisting of, as xylem is consisting of xylem vessels, so phloem is also having phloem tubes, as also shown here in the diagram. These phloem tubes, and they as here end walls were present, but in case of phloem, instead of end walls, here sieve tubes are present. So between two phloem sieve tubes, these called this one is sieve tube and this one is sieve plate. Okay, it is perforated. So due to its perforated structure, material can transport. Okay, secondly, again in the phloem, one more thing is that phloem cells are living, but in mature phloem cell, again some of the organelles they get absent, nucleus become disappear, so cytoplasm can remain. So and food material is transported by this cytoplasm, and from this perforated tube, so it can move up in one sieve tube. And for example, there is not just one sieve tube is present, there can be many other sieve tubes are present. So according to the requirement, material can move in one sieve tube in the upward direction, in one it can be the downward direction, but it depends on the requirement of the plant. But remember one thing, the material in the sieve tube will always transport from source to sink. Source to sink. So I'll tell you about source and sink. First I'll complete this structure. Okay, here it is consisting of sieve tubes and sieve plates. As I told you that in sieve tube, when cell matures, its nucleus become disappear. So to regulate its function, along with sieve tube, living cells are present which are called companion cell. These companion cells, they help in the regulation of material in these sieve tubes. So this is the structure of the xylem vessel which is given here, and it is plain in your diagram. Okay. Now I told you that the transfer of material in the phloem, as I have told you, there are many sieve tubes are present. As you can see here, this one is the leaf. Here food will be prepared and this food will be transported from leaf to different parts of the plant. For example, the direction of this food can be from leaf to root. For example, in some plants, food store in the roots. For example, in case of carrot, radish, you can see that food is prepared in the leaf and it is transported and it is stored in the root portion of that plant. In some cases, for example, potato tuber, food is stored in the stem tuber. Okay, but sometimes you can also see that food is prepared in the leaf and it can be you can see it can store in the fruit. For example, here apple is growing, so this food can be, it will move from leaf to this food or whatever the food is fruit is going to be formed in that plant. Okay, but sometime it happens that root, this is the stem portion, root stay inside the soil and plant sheds its leaf. So in that condition, in the spring season, in the growing season, this stored food will utilize and it will utilize towards the leaf and it will utilize in the formation of new leaves. So remember one thing, in this case here leaf was source and you can say fruit was sink, and in this case this root portion was source and growing leaves were sink. Okay, but remember one thing, whenever food has to be transported in the phloem, so it can move in different direction from source, but its direction will be always from source to sink. For example, leaf is preparing food, it will be utilized even for the formation of new leaves, so it will go even in this direction, and if it has to be stored, so it can move in lower direction, so it can move in both direction. So due to the thick wall structure of the phloem, it is also acting as a transport tissue and as well as supporting tissues. So these xylem and phloem, they are forming a vascular bundle and they are providing support as well as they are transporting water and minerals and food in the plant. Okay, so and one more thing I want to add, that the transport of food material in the phloem is called translocation. Okay, so movement of material in the phloem from source to sink is called translocation. So translocation of sucrose and amino acids take place through the phloem in the plant. Okay, if there is any confusion, you can ask. Watch the video carefully so you can understand. Okay, thank you bete. Allah Hafiz.